So Red Apple Farm is a small family farm that's been around for 4 generations, and we've adapted and evolved over those years to become sustainable, viable, and relevant. And each generation has tried to find a way to do that, but it's really meant from us going from a wholesale apple farm into a very diversified retail direct marketing farm outlet, which is diversified in both the products we grow, agricultural-wise. We do 50 varieties of apples and peaches and pears, and we have summer fruit like blueberries and raspberries, and of course fall stuff like pumpkins and potatoes. But we've always had to become a destination, and we've always tried to get people to come to the farm because pick your own has been a big part of who we are. So.
I own a bar. Moon Hill Brewing Company opened as the Gardner Ale House in Gardner, Massachusetts, and I was very ambitious with the project. For me, it was a community-centered business, which meant I didn't just serve food and beer and live music, but those are my 3 things that I do: beer, food, and live music. And quite often arises, what is Moon Hill Brewing? Because we know you as the Gardner Ale House, because that was my first business 12 years ago. And Moon Hill Brewing Company was, it's the umbrella company, and it was a name that I held in reserve because I didn't need it at the time, but I thought brewing had to be there because that was my super love was brewing beer. It was named after the neighborhood that my wife was born into, Moon Hill. 6 Moon Hill, actually, and that's a long story which I'd love to tell, but I won't. And so I just loved the name Moon Hill, and so I grabbed it. Now I've taken the name out and shaken it off, dusted it off, and it is now the name for our beer that we're distributing, and that's why I brought the name out, because now that we're distributing outside of the restaurant, and we have a new logo and everything, now we're Moon Hill Brewing Company, and everybody's confused. And viva la confusion, because it's okay. I love all the questions.
Rick and I have been friends for a long time, and trying to think exactly the year we met, but at least 12 years ago, I'm guessing. And one nice thing is Rick and I are neighbors. We live both in Phillipston. We both run local businesses, and it just seemed like collaboration was something we were destined to do. We just, we've always loved to work together, and it just seemed like a nice thing that we could actually make that happen, even to a higher level this year.
When we met, we basically liked each other. There was sort of a kindred spirit thing going on. We had conversations back at the brewery with my brewer and with my salesperson, and we started talking about these pop-up ideas these pop-up breweries that were going around. They were starting to become, a happening thing, and we were looking at all different ways to pop up a second location, a third location, that kind of thing. And what popped up in our brains was Red Apple Farm. It was like, oh my gosh, why aren't we doing this 2 years ago, 3 years ago? And so in addition to that, Al and I had always been talking about collaborating on a cider project. So when I went to Al and said, I want to sell beer in your barn, he said, well, what about the cider? Because we talked about cider, and I said, oh my gosh, you have an apple farm. Cider is perfect for this place, and hard cider, of course, is what we're talking about. So that was the beginning. The Brew Barn it started as a pop-up location, but it is now the masthead for our collaboration. This is the place where we will be pouring our collaborative beverages. But it's more than that. I mean, it is Moon Hill Brewing Company. It is Red Apple Farm separately. These 2 places coexist side by side here.
That whole synergistic effect where we're making something better than we ever could do ourselves. I think individually we never could have done something together that we're doing now. But I would also answer, Brew Barn is actually a family-oriented destination where people come to relax, have a beer, have a cider, play cornhole, have some barbecue, connect with their friends, which is what we're all about, and your neighbors. And it's just so simple and it's so pure, and it's such a nice thing. And it's we're really excited about it. It makes us so relevant in the summer, because that's one place that, being an apple farm, we've kind of owned the fall, or the fall has owned us, and So we really like this combination, this collaboration, because it becomes we're more year-round now, and it's again, it's a family destination.
Yeah, Apple Ale is our first collaborative beverage between our two companies, Red Apple Farm and Moon Hill Brewing, and it's a malt beverage, which we're licensed to make. But it has a good deal of cider in it to give it that, basically a fruited ale kind of a thing. It was so good, we surprised ourselves. It was just, it had a very cidery taste, but the beer side of it predominated and gave it a hardness and crispness and a dryness and just a refreshingness.
And it's not very sweet, which for me is I prefer it.
Yep.
And so I think it's a very drinkable.
And it's just not the two of us that like it, right?
Yeah, no, it's been our top seller.
Yeah.
We're in our second 250 gallons, which
we've got
cider.
9 beers on tap, and it's our top seller.
It's called Rick and Al's Apple Ale. We
worked on that.
We
name
worked on
for months. We started out thinking beverage, and now we don't know what we won't include.